Hi friends, now today I have the honor of introducing to you Dr. Shivam Agarwal. He's a rank 15 in this mid-year JIPMER exam and he's a Kolkata Dams
Yes,
regular
sir.
batch student. I'm really proud of your achievement.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
So,
very much, sir. It is a real pleasure meeting you, sir.
so Shivam, how are you feeling today?
Sir, first of all, I am feeling very excited. But honestly, I still can't believe it myself that I have scored this much. This is a very unreal feeling, which I hope to feel again in the future someday.
What was your first reaction when you saw the rank?
So my first reaction, if I can be honest, was one of disbelief. I in fact checked my roll number twice after looking at the results. But now, sir, I am feeling so happy and I'm feeling more confident about myself after getting such a good rank.
I'm sure this must have given you a confidence that whatever you've been doing was working in the right direction.
Definitely, sir. This gave me such a boost in confidence because since there's no feedback that what I'm doing is right or wrong, but now that I see there must have been something which I was doing right. So this is a big confidence booster.
How was your performance in the last NEET exam?
Sir, in the last NEET exam, I scored a rank of 5,200, which was okay, but it was not enough to get me a seat which I wanted. So I left it.
And then you joined the regular course in
Yes,
DAMS.
sir. Yes, sir. And then I joined the regular course in Dams Kolkata, January batch.
How was your experience with the classes? Like when you went to the classes, were you happy with the level of teaching being done there? And what was your experience?
So I would say that one of the first things that will strike someone when going to the classes is the efficiency and professionalism. That I feel is very important for a regular batch student because we don't actually have too much time to like spend on getting the intricacies of the subject. That is why all the dams teachers they teach the subject in such a concise way that each and every line of the note becomes important. Sir, if I can say honestly, in some class I did think, why is he teaching this? Why is he teaching this? What is the relevance? But after giving one exam, I realized that each and every that some questions are like lifted directly from the notes. You will think that the examiner is also looking at the notes. This is the kind of, so each and every line becomes important. So I'm very satisfied with the classes, and it is very unreal to see that the exact line you wrote in the notebook which you thought was not at all important is coming in the exam, where each and every question makes a difference.
Like, how was your approach during the classroom? Like, I like many students would be wanting to know that how does a rank 15, you're one of the top scorers in this exam this year. Like, they want to know that how does a topper approach the class? Like, when you come to the class, what is your idea? Like, would you make notes? Would you listen? Like, how do you manage the class? Like, how to take out the maximum out of a class?
So since one thing I have to say very honestly, sir, is that the length of the class is, sir, that since the teachers have to teach such a huge amount of stuff in a short amount of time, the 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 density becomes too much to handle. But sir, what we have to see is we have to check our weak points. For example, if I know something very well, I am just revising it. But for the entire new things, I have to listen very attentively, and then I have to read it again, sir. So that helps a lot. And I would say that reading standard books in like first year, second year, third year helps very much because then, sir, because what happens that what we are asked in professional examinations is completely different from what is asked in competitive examinations. So what happens is that if you've even read it once, then you will at least know like what are the things. So they will be kind of familiar to you. So that will help a lot. So
Yeah, I
that
also
gave me an
believe this,
advantage.
people who are in formative years, like people who are second, third year, like instead of at that stage, going after some guidebooks or some
Yes, sir.
shortcut prof-based books, go for standard books at that
Definitely,
stage.
sir.
And
Especially that if someone is in first year, second year, third year, I would like to say focus as much as you can on the standard books like Robbins or Harrison or Bailey and Love, because you will see that even though you might not get that much well in professional examinations, when you look at the question paper, you will see that you have a very big edge over the people who scored well in professional examinations, but they don't have concepts. So in the formative years, the most important things are concepts. Facts you can learn later, but you will never be able to learn concepts in 1 year after internship.
Now, along with the classes, did you utilize the test series that we conduct?
Yes, sir. The DAMS test series was in fact very helpful. There are 3 to 4 types of tests. One is that just after doing the class in the next week, you get a class test. And the advantage of class test is that you can check how much you understood, how much you assimilated. After that, there's a subject-wise test which gives all the information of the class test along with all the other questions which might have been asked. So you get a complete overall view of the subject, because a teacher cannot teach everything in class because it is huge, but there may be some other outlier questions which you will also understand. And after that, I would suggest the DAMS grant tests are very nice, because in the DAMS grant tests you get a complete view that the 19 subjects, you can never study all the subjects confidently, but you'll see that like you get one question of anatomy, then you get one question of medicine. So you'll realize how much flexibility of mind you can have to solve those questions, and you'll get a practice of the timekeeping also.
I also believe that, what he's saying is very, very important. Like, there are two kind of tests. One is a subject-wise test or a class test, which is on a topic. Another is a grand test, where it is a mixture of tests. You have to give both of them. Because when in the real exam you see one question of anatomy,
Yes,
then
sir.
suddenly one question on another subject, some people are not able to change
Yes, sir.
focus gears immediately.
Yes, sir.
So
It
that
takes
practice is very
practice.
practice
Yes,
is
sir.
very important. Yes. So it's very rightly put by him. And did you utilize the digital, app that we have come up with called as eMedicos?
Yes, sir. One thing I would like to say about eMedicos, even though at first its interface may seem very confusing, but if you persevere, you will see that it has a wealth of information which will give you an edge in any examination, be it NEET, AIMS, JIPMER. There are different kinds of questions, different kinds of videos, and all the videos are very important. There was a video series called AIMS Capsule. About 20 to 30% of the questions were directly from the AIMS capsule, and even more questions were based on concepts which were elucidated in the AIMS capsule. Not only in AIMS but also in JIPMER. So the AIMS capsule and other things like that, like the mop-up videos and all the EQ test series, they really give a good edge.
Yes, and I personally believe that, what our strength is in, like, you rightly mentioned initially, is that we are able to create notes which are high yielding. We are able to
Yes.
do videos like
Mm.
that. AIMS capsule that we released is like, I think hardly 25-30 hours.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Not even that.
not even that, I
No,
think.
sir.
And but we have been able to hit the exams hard.
Exact
So
questions.
that is what our strength is. Like, sometimes students get confused when they are trying to, go towards plethora of useless stuff. But in the end, you need high yield stuff.
Definitely,
And
sir.
that is what we have been able to do. We work hard. We try to find out, like, what is the things going on. Like if, for example, in radiology, like, if I would see, like, okay, these things are trending in the world of radiology today. In exams like JIPMER, they will go
Yes, sir.
towards new
Definitely,
things.
definitely, sir.
They would go toward new things. So something would come up in the exam like that.
Definitely, sir. And in fact, exams like JIPMER ask the latest cutting edge things. So, so even though the notes are good, sometimes the notes may not contain that. So things like AIMS capsule act as a kind of
Booster.
update on the notes.
Yeah. So that is like our bolus dose, like, some maintenance dose, some
Yes, sir.
bolus.
Definitely, sir.
We kind of
Things like
balance
that.
it out.
Yes, sir.
And did you utilize the DQB also, the DAMS question bank on the app?
Yes, sir. Sir, the DAMS question bank is very extensive, covers all the topics, and one of the most important and advantageous things is that you can do the questions all over again, which gives a good practice. And so if you think you scored bad in one subject, you study the subject and you give the test 2 weeks later. So that is also possible. So it becomes very important, and especially in things like NEET where repetition comes into play, things like DQB is very good because all the repeated questions are seen there.
Yes. And plus, I want to tell students also that now we have come up with a hard copy of DQB also.
Yes, sir.
Now in the next 1 or 2 weeks, most centers should receive it. And now we are also coming up in the DQB some special banks, like we have created a bank for EMQs, the extended matching system, which was a new pattern in AIMS. Soon we'll be launching that. So my only thing that I want to submit here is that we are working on it dynamically.
Yes.
Every day we are trying to improve things. So that is our total intent into it. And Shivam, I also want to know from you now, like, it's a very, very important thing that this JIPMER exam was slightly on a tougher side from what I hear from the students.
Yes, sir.
So how was your experience in the exam? One, and like, and how did you manage? How many did you attempt? I want to know that kind of things.
So the JIPMER exam was definitely on it was definitely tough. It wasn't easy, but I would say that I think that the key is getting as many questions, attempting as many questions as you can, because in the end we are all, no one can know all the questions 100%, but the more you attempt, the more your chances become.
How many did you do out 250?
Sir, I left only 13 to 14 questions out of 250.
So 235, 236.
Things like that,
Nice.
sir.
Okay.
So, but even though my overall score was very low, it was not even 50%. But the number of questions I could do correct based on my knowledge and based on looking at the question, that gives an edge. If you think you don't know a question and leave it, then you will get 100%. But if you attempt it, there's a 50% chance that you can do it. So that is very
I think the how you think on the day of the exam is the critical asset that we have to build up. Like sometimes people look at only knowledge, but if it's a new question, you need a thinking process.
Exactly. Yeah. You in each and every question, especially in things like JIPMER, they won't ask a question directly. They will twist it. So you can't just think, oh, this is not in the notes, so I can't answer. You have to derive certain questions and answers. You have to look at previous questions of the same exam and see, oh, so this is there, so this must be there. You have to do these kind of things. So for that you need a calm mind. You have to look at all the questions thoroughly. You can't just say in JIPMER that, oh, since they're asking this must be easy. You have to look at all the questions thoroughly, all the answers. The most important thing is keep a calm mind, because no one can know the questions they're asking. They ask all the latest stuff. You might know some, you can't know all, but you can guess many of them, which is a very important thing to do.
Did you also utilize the previous papers, video discussions that we have on the Medico side?
Yes, sir. So the previous papers, so the previous discussions are very helpful in that they give a feel of which questions are asked more. In certain exams, certain topics are taken more. Like if we consider JIPMER, they ask more on cutting edge drugs, like all the new monoclonal antibodies which none of us can remember, if I can say very honestly, sir. Those kind of things are asked. So you can get a feel, and since you know that there are monoclonal antibodies more, you can just read on the day of the examination. So that will help. So previous year question banks are very important to solve.
And I totally agree with him that if you are preparing for an exam, just before that the previous papers of that exam should be looked at. Like it's like some students, they try to look for all previous year, but in exam like JIPMER, it is important to look for JIPMER previous year, like before AIMS previous year, PGI before AIMS, before PGI previous year, because the likelihood of similar topics or that exam would be high, because the people are same, so we try to guess out their mindset. You may have new questions in the exam, but at least you get a trend, okay, how they are asking.
Yes, sir.
So when you see what you have seen with us, the classes, the notes, the test series, the question banks, the revision capsules that we give, the previous paper discussion, would you describe us as a one-stop solution for everything?
Yes, JAMS is definitely a one-stop solution for everything, be it any exam, any competitive exam. In fact, I would say that even the students who join in second or third year, they can also be benefiting in professional examinations from DAMS, because they will know many concepts which the teachers would love to ask, but no one can know because we can't study so much. So DAMS is a one-stop solution for anything, be it competitive exams, professional exams, or any medical exam for that matter.
And I now want to ask you two questions. Like this will be the two questions that I wanted to ask you. One is, I want to know from you, like, how would you advise a future JIPMER aspirant, like to what topics to focus on?
So,
like you said, monoclonal antibodies, drugs.
So first I would like to say that even if a JIPMER aspirant, he should like study all the topics thoroughly first of all, because even though some questions may be asked more in certain exams, but you just can't say that since I've studied those questions, I won't study the rest. Yeah. First of all, you have to study a general, you have to build an overall base, then you can study on things like, in JIPMER they ask, as I said, monoclonal antibodies and half-lives are a favorite topic. Other than that, respiratory medicine and emergency medicine, they focus on, like they can give a scenario, after that that's the next step, the best step, and so those kind of things are important. Emergency medicine, respiratory medicine, pharmacology, and genetics. JIPMER, around 10 to 20% questions are definitely will come from genetics, because because gene is a new advancement and Zipmer asks new advancements, especially in microbiology and medicine.
And I would add like, were there too many visual questions or not? I think very few visuals might be there. What was the idea in the exam?
Sir, I would say that around there were not too many visual questions, but the visual questions which were there, you had to around 10 10 to 20 visual questions at
A
most.
future aspirant can keep this in mind. Like out of 250 questions, there are questions which are non-doable. Like even him, he tried his best to do as much as possible. Still, he had to leave 15. And the paper is tough, on a slightly tougher side. More newer things are there.
Yes,
Genetics,
maximum
new
newer
drugs,
things.
respiratory medicine are important. Emergency medicine is important, and there are a few visual questions. So that there is a general feeling that people feel that AIMS has more visuals. That is correct. But even in JIPMA, there are a few visual questions. I wanted to tell a future JIPMA aspirant that is important. Any other thing you would like to highlight for a aspirant, like any topic that you feel they should definitely look at?
Any other topic, I would say for JIPMER, they should also look at the super specialty, especially in surgery. Super specialty of surgery like urology. Even though it is a very offbeat topic, but in this exam there was at least one question. So, and I couldn't get it, but if you study even some urology, you might get it. Like neurosurgery, trauma related, that kind of questions.
Great. And now the second question is that how do you manage your motivation? This must have been a tough period of time, PG entrance preparation, competition, not sure what to happen. And how did you manage your motivation now that you look back?
So now that I look back, when I initially started, I did not think obviously that I would ever get JIPMER. I used to think that only some supernatural people will get into JIPMER who get good ranks. So there is definitely a loss of motivation for everyone, but the thing you have to see is that you have to keep your focus on the goal, number one, and number two, you have to have your friends and family to fall back on. Meditation and spirituality also helps, but if you do not have friends and family to fall back on, if you think that I'll study alone, I'll get more than my friends, I will not help them, then they will also not help you. And I don't mean help in just like facts. You need emotional support. So for that, you have to have a base to fall back on, because all of us will get demotivated at some point, but to rise above that, we need to look and see that what will we achieve after this. So that's
what he's saying is very right. Everybody needs a buffer. You need
yes,
friends, family. So keep all that things intact in your pursuit for an exam. Sometimes we destroy everything around, and that creates the stress, I think. And the second thing that I like about him is that he said that when he started, he never thought he would be a topper. But everybody has to start believing that anybody can do well.
Definitely,
it is up
definitely.
to one on that day who does
Exactly,
better.
exactly.
So have that faith in you. It is not just supernatural people who get a rank. Everybody has the potential to do it. So I think with his interview, I think a lot of students will get motivated listening to you, and maybe they will start feeling more positive about it.
I would like to say one thing. Like just last week, I was sitting in the class with my batchmates, thinking अब क्या होगा, अभी तो एक साल बाकी है, इतना नहीं आता, उतना नहीं आता. Just in 1 week, I have come here, and now I am getting into JIPMER. So anyone can do it. It's you don't know what will happen. That does not mean that you'll go into exam giving this is JIPMER, I won't get in, so I just won't attempt most of the questions. I won't put any thought into it. Any exam you give, you have to do whatever you can, because it is all unpredictable, because all the other students are at your state only. Like no one is just, one can be like say some notches above, but no one is like supernatural that he is with so much above that he will only get. And also I would say, sir, honestly, some relaxation time is also very important, like sports or computer games or anything like that.
Whatever gives you a break is important.
Definitely, sir.
It's like to each his own. Like if somebody
Yes,
likes
sir.
to do something,
Yes, sir.
Some place where you can switch off your mind for some
Exactly,
time.
that is very important.
That's very important. Like, and any particular teachers that you want to mention today?
So I would like to say that in all exams consistently, Dr. Tushar sir, orthos, his notes, you may think that they're so small that they contain nothing, but like each and everything that he mentions comes in the exams, and nothing outside that. It is like, it is so surprising that nothing outside will come. If you study the notes, you will do 99% of the orthopedics questions. I would also like to say that Dr. Thiru's pharmacology, he gives all the new drugs, and in such an entertaining and interesting way that you will know about the new drugs, and you will be able to answer all the new drugs, because not only in JIPMER, all exams are asking many new drugs, so it is important. Other than that, Dr. Rajiv Dhawan, ENT, his notes are also almost complete, that nothing comes outside them. 99% questions from within that only. Other than that, the physio class is also very nice. All the calculation based questions that ma'am teaches, they all come in exams, or calculation numerical based questions. And I would also like to say that the gynecology and obstetrics class, even though it contains a lot of facts, data and concepts, all of them are important. Like anything that ma'am says as concept, they are like 80-90% sure to come as concept based questions, not as facts. And whatever facts he says, they also come. Like, they are all very high yielding notes. Even though I'm just saying some teacher's name, I would say that all the notes, each and every notes you can find, are all very high yielding.
Now with this, Shivam, we are really, really proud of your achievement in
Thank you,
DAMS
sir.
team, and from the behalf of entire DAMS Delhi, DAMS Kolkata, the entire DAMS family, I would like to wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sure you will shine in life. Maybe know which branch are you going to take?
Sir, I'm more interested towards medical branch, like medicine, pulmonary medicine, or emergency medicine.
So we hope you get the branch of your choice.
Thank you, sir.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you,
Heartiest
sir.
congratulations.
Thank you, sir.